Hello, and welcome to the IMO IMDG Code course. Throughout this course, you will understand the philosophy behind the regulations and will be able to use the IMDG Code. You will also become familiar with the general provisions of the IMDG Code. Now, it's important that you become aware of the risks posed by the transport of dangerous goods and the consequences of their mishandling. You will also learn how to classify and identify dangerous goods. Understand the selection, testing and marking of packagings, as well as know how to correctly pack dangerous goods. Another objective of this course is for you to accomplish the marking, labeling and placarding of dangerous goods shipments according to the regulations and to know how to prepare transport documents for dangerous goods in maritime transport. And last but not least, you must understand stowage and segregation requirements. The origin of the IMDG Code lies in the Convention Concerning the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, which was the result of a conference called in 1914 as a reaction to the sinking of the Titanic. In that conference, concerns were raised and the need was discussed for a regulation covering safe transport of dangerous goods by sea in order to determine what goods are to be considered dangerous goods and shall indicate the precautions which must be taken in the packing and stowage thereof. The International Maritime Dangerous Goods IMDG Code was first published in 1965 by the Intergovernmental Maritime Consultative Organization, nowadays known as International Maritime Organization, IMO. Unit 1. Introduction to the IMDG Code. At United Nations level, all work relating to the transport of dangerous goods is coordinated by a committee of experts which produces the recommendations on the transport of dangerous goods, also called the Orange Book. These model regulations are a recommendation but have been used as a basis for international regulations on dangerous goods. Click on the Orange Book to learn what it covers. The Orange Book covers classification of dangerous goods and definitions, listing of dangerous goods, packing requirements, testing procedures, marking, labeling and placarding, documentation, special requirements, etc. These recommendations contain all basic provisions for the safe carriage of dangerous goods, but they have to be completed by additional requirements which may have to be applied at national level or for international transport, depending on the mode of transport envisaged. The tendency in the different regulations, including the IMDG Code, is to reflect the reality of multimodal transport. The IMDG Code is not an isolated regulation. Press each button to learn more about the other international regulations. Most shipments of dangerous goods are not limited to a single mode of transportation. For example, once the package arrives at a port, it will be loaded into a truck to be transported by road to its final destination. The IMDG Code is not an isolated regulation. In the dangerous goods transportation sector, we can find several other legal international regulations, all of them emanating from the principles of the United Nations Orange Book. All these regulations share several provisions and requirements. Throughout the IMDG Code, there are reminders of the additional requirements that must be met if the dangerous goods are going to be transported by a different mode. Click on the documents to see more information.